Brought to you by
Holzer Health System,
Howard Hanna McMillan Network,
AT Hoy Transport,
Higgins Steel Roofing,
Rocky Outdoor Gear Store,
Nick Station,
Steak and Shake,
True Track Garage Doors,
McFadden Insurance,
Ohio Valley Bank,
Hocking College,
Area Agency on Aging District 7,
Willis Advantage Property Solutions,
Pidcock Glass,
and Southern Ohio Souls.
Now, let's kick off your football Friday night. Here's Eric Landrum and Ethan Sargent.
Good evening, Southeast Ohio, and welcome to week number 10 of the high school football season. We could not be more excited to be here with you as we get going for what could be is the game of the year. 9-0, 9-0. I believe it's the only game in the state between two 9-0 teams in week number 10. It is Athens versus Nelsonville-York, and it is live here on Total Media Sports. I'm Ethan Sargent. Eric Landrum is alongside me as he is every Friday night, and we are gearing up for the final week of the regular season. There is so much on the line tonight. Playoff berths at stake. 3 conference championships remain in the balance, and there is a whole lot more. We have a breaking news story that we are going to discuss on the program today. We have a number of win and in scenarios for some schools that haven't been in this spot in a very long time. We're going to talk about that. But, of course, the main story tonight is what's about to happen on this field about 2 hours from now. Joe Burrow Stadium is the site of one of the most anticipated games in Athens County history between Athens and Nelsonville-York. There is trash talk flying both ways. Social media is lighting up. It is everything you could ask for to end a season.
It is, and just so you know, you will have to be here to see it this evening. It's going to be quite the game to see in person, too. What more you need to say? 2 9-0 squads, a little bit different way to get to 9-0 on the year. We'll get to that here in a little bit while. But you mentioned one of the showdowns in Athens County history. I mean, the 3rd time or 2nd time in 25 years that these teams have taken the field together as 9-0 opponents, and this is the one you look forward to every year in Athens County, and we're here. It's time.
Amazing.
It's time.
Right, and again, I've talked to people on both sides of this really all week, and just the excitement is through the roof, right? Obviously, the rivalry is there. This game will get chippy. This game, both of these teams are motivated, right? One of our broadcasters, Daniel Barner, had the pleasure of being able to go to both practices, and he said, look, both of these teams came to practice with a different edge this week, right? It is personal, deeply personal, with Athens especially. You think about what happened last year, 19-14. The Buckeyes score on the final play of the game with 1 second left to steal the TVC-Ohio title and an unbeaten season away from the Athens Bulldogs. You think that hasn't been on their mind all week long? You're lying. So
yeah,
it is,
quite frankly,
a lot of those kids were on that field when that happened. A lot of these kids are going to be back on the field tonight, and they've got revenge on their minds. And then for Nelsonville-York, it's about maintaining the status quo. They've been the big dogs in the TVC over the last couple of seasons. This year, they have faced some tough battles. They've won some close competitive games, and they have come into this matchup with just a monstrous offensive attack as well as a defense that's starting to find its edge. We're going to preview this game a whole lot over the course of today, and we're going to hear from both head coaches in today's matchup as well. We're going to hear from Rusty Richards and from Nate White. They both had plenty of excitement coming into this matchup. Let's really quickly touch on this very briefly. We're going to get a little bit deeper into this later on in the show, but I know there's a couple anxious Fighting Tiger fans out there, so we will just quickly touch on this. There's an ongoing situation involving the Ironton Fighting Tigers football team. As of right now, we are not going to speculate. We are not going to say anything that hasn't been put out over the air by the OHSAA just yet. But there is a situation ongoing with this program that could potentially cost them a berth in the postseason. As of now, I reiterate, there is nothing official. We are still waiting to hear official word from the OHSAA, and according to a couple reporters in and around Southeast Ohio, that official word is actually not going to come until tomorrow. So for those Fighting Tiger fans who might be heading down to the tank tonight to watch their matchup against Portsmouth, we won't know anything. We won't have any official updates as we do yet. We will hear from Jason Filaw, the voice of the Tigers, at about 5:30 tonight. He is about as informed on this situation as it gets. He's going to break everything that he possibly can. I know he's got the best interest of the Fighting Tigers at heart, and he is going to want to make sure that everybody out there is as informed in the correct way as possible. So Jason's going to join the show at 5:30. If you're a Fight Tiger Out fan looking to know a little bit more about what's going on, Jason can hopefully fill you in and give you some of the smaller details. But obviously, again, he's in the same boat as us, right? There's nothing official at this point. Jason may know a little bit more because he's a little bit closer to some of the people involved in the situation. But again, a lot of that stuff you can't really talk about. So at this point, right, it is an ongoing and fluid situation. If there are any updates over the course of tonight's program, we'll, of course, bring them to you. But it doesn't appear now like there will be. It seems like this is going to be something that drags into the weekend, Eric.
Yeah, it is. And what you know right now is it's a difficult situation. It's a very emotional situation down at Ironton. It's public news at this point that there were kids standing right outside the school board building just this morning in efforts that, you know, they want to continue their efforts on the season. I get it, high emotion situation. Jason P. will hopefully have more for us, and obviously the OHSAA has put their decision off until this evening, or tomorrow rather, which allows Ironton Fighting Tiger fans to set aside 48 minutes of thought on the Portsmouth Trojans this evening. Probably best case scenario, all things considered.
Yeah, and again, I can only imagine what that atmosphere down at the tank is going to be like this evening with everything that's going on and it being senior night and just everything. It's going to be a very unique atmosphere down there at the tank this evening. For, again, one of Athens, one of Southeast Ohio's oldest rivalries. They've been playing for almost 125 years, Portsmouth and Ironton. They're going to play one more iteration this evening. Real quick, let's go through some of the conference standings. Eric, you've got them in front of you, so I'll let you take the point on this. A couple conferences have been decided. We'll give you those winners, but there, I believe, are 3 conference titles that are still up for grabs. No, I think it's just 3 because Eastern won yesterday. So the SOC one has been confirmed. Shout out to the Eagles. How about 3 unbeaten regular seasons in a row for the Beaver Eastern Eagles. They'll be off next week, and then they'll be in the postseason. Don't sleep on those Eagles. They're going to be real good in Region 28.
Yeah, they are. And let's go ahead and get to those postseason or those conference champions, at least at this point. In the SVC, Udioto's all but won that conference. Actually, they have won that conference, even with the loss tonight. Zane Trace still doesn't have the head-to-head. So SVC, you've got Udioto, who's won the conference. Look back to the OVC for just a moment having talked about Portsmouth. Cold Grove has all but won that conference as they take on Rock Hill this evening as well. And, of course, Wheelersburg, barring something silly tonight, has won that conference. And then tonight in the TVC-Ohio, we await to see how things shape up between Athens and Nelsonville. The winner will be determined here in just a few hours. Let's peek over to the FAC, where that one will be decided in full this evening. Chillicothe rolling into Alumni Stadium with a chance to steal a share of that crown. I know Jackson fans do not want that to happen tonight. So again, Chillicothe has a chance to shake things up over there. And again, we mentioned Eastern. They've had a chance to wrap things up in that conference with a win last night at Green, 56-0 fashion. And now, I think the last sub-conference we got here is the TVC Hawking, and Waterford's all but taking care of business there.
Got that one. I think the other one that there could potentially be it would be an absolute steal of a share, but I believe Portsmouth West has a chance tonight on the road at Ed Miller Stadium against a dominant Wheelersburg squad to get what would be a shocker and steal a share of the SOC2, because they would have the same conference record and there would be a head-to-head involved. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. There might be an outside chance that doesn't happen. They did lose to Northwest, so I'm not sure if that does come into play or not. But in any case, if you're the Wheelersburg Wheelersburg Pirates, you have to be aware of the threat, right? Senators don't have a lot to lose. They also kind of need to win this game. If they don't win this game, there's an outside shot they don't make the playoffs. So I've got the longest game sheet I've had all year, because I've got all your playoff scenarios on here, and there's a lot of interesting ones around the area. Let's start with a couple wins and ins. We're going to go through the standings, I think, in our next segment. But let's go for some wins and ins. And let's start out with the Huntington Huntsmen. It's the first time that they've won 6 or more games since 2000. They made the playoffs in 2022. They were beaten soundly by Pate Valley 50-6. But this Huntington squad, they've got a lot of different values and weapons. And you look especially at that running game. They've got Isaac Taylor in the backfield, who loves that rock. And we talked about them a couple weeks ago, and they pulled that upset over Westfall. They make no secret about what they're trying to do. They're going to pound the rock, and they do it to a really high level.
Yeah, they do. to Clay Beeler. That's his MO as well. He was a tank himself running the ball back at Chillicothe in his day. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to run the football. They want to run it at a high level, inside, outside, off tackle. They'll do it in 3 different phases. You mentioned the game, Isaac Taylor. He'll carry it most of the time. Frankie Hirsch, he can keep it. He can run it and throw it as well, so he's a nice threat. That's going to be a nice rivalry game. Them and Piketon tonight. That'll be a fun contest.
I know your son's got some stake in that one.
He
loves them Huntsmen.
He's
and
a Huntsman
he called
himself.
it last week. He called it last week. I don't know if Huntington's got many more higher believers than that young man.
He has all the confidence in the world of his team.
That's awesome. Eastern is another one that faces a very anxious wait tonight. They take on Southern. They got to win that game to have any shot.
Yeah.
If they do win, they're at about a 69% chance to make the postseason. The team that they're mostly competing with is Martins Ferry out in the eastern part of the state. Martins Ferry takes on Bel Air, so it may well. Bel Air is 3-6 on the year. Martins Ferry is 5-4, so it could just be a toss-up in that game. Obviously, if one wins, the other loses. That'll probably give you your winner. But if they both win, it's going to come down to those level 2s. We're going to talk about the word level 2 is going to be used a whole lot over the next 7 or so hours as we get these results in. And Eric and Bub break things down on Football Friday night. I'll be calling in as well. It's going to be a lot to break down. Eastern's going to be keeping a close eye on Martins Ferry as well. The teams that Martins Ferry has played over the course of the season, because that's where those level 2 points are coming from. Another one that is win and in, I believe, is where is it? Oh man, I see the problem with having my sheet like this is that sometimes I lose things.
Happens to the best of us.
Let's actually bring up a team here that's not going to make the postseason. We'll spare a word for them. The Fairland Dragons are not going to make the postseason for the first time since 2019 that Fairland hasn't made the postseason. It kind of felt like, obviously they've had back-to-back years of very, very talented rosters. This has kind of felt like one of those years where maybe that class wasn't quite at the level of some of those other classes, and now it's going to be about bringing that talent back up, Coach Jackson.
Yeah, it is, and you mentioned the talent coming up, but what they lost a year ago, and look back at the quarterback position alone, and Cameron Kitts, and just what he did for 3 straight years in that offense, and yeah, it's a lot to replace, and not an easy conference to do it in, quite frankly. A conference that I think stood on both feet this year, stood on a lot of business, much improved in a lot of ways.
Very much
with just the teams like Guy Academy and Rock Hill standing tall, and then of course Cold Grove at the top there. But yeah, obviously this Fairland team, not the way they wanted their season to go, but there'll be brighter days in Proctorville.
Absolutely, and I expect them to be right back where we've seen them the last couple of years in 2026. We're going to step aside for the first time this evening. When we come back, we're going to go look at those playoff standings in all the regions that you guys have your eyes on out there in Southeast Ohio. So big matchups, much still to be decided in terms of playoff buys, home games, and making the postseason itself. We'll get to that when we return. You're listening to Football Friday Kickoff.
Need a ride to your medical appointment? Medication ready for pickup? A.T. Hoy, LL.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
At Slark's Collision Center, we're more than a body shop. We're your neighbors, right here at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93. We're proud to serve Jackson with honest work and hometown care. Locally owned and community trusted, our team of technicians combine years of experience with the latest technology, delivering quality repairs every time. Seamless repairs and stress-free claims. Our friendly team of experts work directly with insurance companies, so you don't have to, getting you safely back on the road. Visit us at 965 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio, right at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93, and experience our commitment to excellence. The Slarks Automotive Family, here for you when you need us.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people, all to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank, working together, building success.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slark.
I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dan Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Ohio Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southernohio.souls.com to donate today.
I stress, Howard Hanna Real Estate and the McNerlin Network team are your real estate MVPs in Jackson. They've got the full playbook, mortgage, title, home warranty, insurance, and global marketing that scores big with buyers. No fumbles, no flags, just smooth moves to the end zone of home ownership. Call 740-702-6000. Let Howard Hanna Real Estate and the McNerlin Network team quarterback your next big win.
This is Football Friday Kickoff on Total Media Sports, presented by Slark's Collision Center.
We're rolling along here at Athens High School for Football Friday Kickoff. Ethan Sargent, Eric Landrum here with you. And let me tell you, this crowd's already filling in. We've got over an hour and a half until kick, and I'm seeing plenty of green and white, and I'm seeing plenty of orange and brown. And let me tell you, that's not going to stop anytime soon. You're going to see, if you're watching us on the stream, you're going to see plenty. We are right in the thick of it. You're going to see a lot of orange and brown walk behind us as they get around to the other side of the field. That's the away section. And then you're probably going to see a little bit of green and white come behind us as well. Not sure if Athens is doing any sort of themes tonight or anything like that. I know it is senior night. They've got some they've got some great senior displays over there. A couple of great Athens seniors on this squad. Let's take a look at some of these playoff brackets. We'll start out with Region 11, and I'm going to do something here. You know, and not to get political, but you know when you're watching a politics show on election night and they'll call a race, right? They'll say like, oh, Senator X has won this state, right? I feel pretty confident about calling the Athens Bulldogs making the postseason. I think it would take a miracle going against them for Athens to not be the 12th seed in Region 11, and I'll explain why. Last night, Independence fell to Walnut Ridge. It was ugly. So Athens actually jumped back above Independence into that 12 spot overnight. So some people were panicking, right? They were at the 13, like, oh my goodness, they're not going to get it. So obviously, if they now control their own destiny. Athens is winning in, right? So they're winning in, but I'm going to explain why even with a loss, I think they're okay. If you look at Athens' schedule, right, they've obviously won all of their games this season. And the good thing is for Athens, a lot of the teams on their schedule play each other tonight. Yeah. Warren takes on Marietta. Meigs takes on Alexander just to start. You're guaranteed level 2 points with those matchups because, look, somebody's got to win those games. You know, looking at the rest of Athens' schedule, there are other winnable games on there for some of the teams that they've played. Wellston and Vinton County is also on that list as well. River Valley takes on a 1-7 Fayetteville Perry squad. The Athens would love a favor from the Raiders. Paint Valley takes on Southeastern looking for their first win. Maybe that's an opportunity, right? Those are just some of the, and that's almost every team on their schedule just right there. Obviously, Logan's got a tough matchup tonight in the OCC. Yeah. But they could get a boatload of level 2s this evening. And I think that is why I feel pretty confident in saying that Athens is going to jump and stay ahead of Independence no matter what, simply because those level 2s, unless like the entirety of Independence schedule finds a way to win, or at least all their wins find a way to win, I feel confident in saying Athens is going to win, especially considering some of the teams that Independence's wins play are not going to lose to those teams. So I feel pretty good about Athens making the postseason. Let's look at, again, the rest of this region. You got Hamilton Township in there at the 5 spot. Didn't drop too far. Tri-Valley looks pretty good for a bye as long as they take care of business tonight in the Perry County Super Bowl against Sheridan. That's a great game always. And that's really the only thing left to determine in this region. You pretty much got your postseason teams. Either Athens or Independence is likely that last spot in. I mean, Hartley and Sheridan are also both winning in, but they're both probably fine as well. Kind of the same boat as Athens. Again, Independence is looking for a miracle tonight, is the long story short in that region. Let's go over to 12, where there's a lot going on in Region 12. You've got Chillicothe, Miami Trace, and Jackson. Trace is actually just above Jackson right now. That will likely change this evening because if Jackson gets the win, they will definitely jump Trace because they'll get a bunch of level 2s from Chillicothe and they'll get level 2s from all their other teams that they've played. Miami Trace has got a matchup with Washington Courthouse this evening, classic rivalry in the FAC and really in Southeast Ohio. I think they'll be able to take care of business, but they need to, right? Because Courthouse is also fighting for playoff positioning down in Region 16. And then Chillicothe's got a chance to jump all the way up into a bye, potentially, should they take down Jackson, right? With a win, Jackson's win and clinch bye. That's the interesting thing for them. With a loss, they're likely home in round 1. They're probably taking on a Wilmington, Archbishop McNichols, something like that. If Chillicothe wins, they would absolutely lock up a home playoff game. They actually would have about a 17% chance at a bye. And even with a loss tonight, still have a very high percentage chance at being home in week 1 of the postseason. Got about an 86% chance there.
Yeah, huge change in pace for Chillicothe Cavaliers fans behind the heels of TJ Carper coming in and really doing some good things in that program. And now they've made the postseason for the first time, I think, in over 10 years.
Yeah,
that wasn't.
It's a big deal.
That wasn't that wasn't the 16-team playoff anyway. It is a huge deal. It's a complete turnaround in a very short period of time in a relatively improved conference. So and they've got a huge opportunity in front of them tonight in Alumni Stadium if they can take advantage.
They do, and I mentioned it to Coach Andy Hall yesterday. We'll talk about this game specifically a little bit later on. But when you look at, obviously, Miami Trace has been a little bit more of a local rivalry for them, especially since they've come into the FAC. But Chillicothe is the classic rival of Jackson, right? That is the team that they always kind of circle. Obviously, Wheelersburg is also in that local rivalry as well because they've just been really good. So they've ended up clashing a bunch. Same with Ironton. But when you look at how things are going for Jackson, Chillicothe's always been that number 1 rival. I mean, you look at things, they've played about 48 times over the course of the history of the two squads. Let's jump down to Region 19 real quick. And obviously, this will be heavily affected by what ends up happening with this Ironton stuff. If they are, in this case, removed from the postseason, it could potentially open up an extra spot for either a Morgan or Amanda Clear Creek down there near the bottom of this region. Wheelersburg is cruising right now. They're at 9-0. They're pretty much home and dry in terms of those top 4 buys. Nelsonville-York is an important one tonight. Obviously, they got a big game right behind us in a few hours.
Yeah.
If they get the win, they're clinch and bye. So if they get a win tonight, they will be off next week in preparation for their postseason matchup in week number 2. Barnesville and Afrocentric will be hoping that Nelsonville-York fall because they could then jump up into one of those bye squads. Valley controls their own destiny tonight. Valley is win and in their matchup with Minford. Portsmouth controls their own destiny. Obviously, they got a tough matchup with the Ironton Fighting Tigers. I'm not gonna quite make the call like I did with Athens for Portsmouth, but they've got a high chance to get in even with the loss this evening. They got about an 86-87% chance to get in regardless of their result tonight. Colegrove is also winning in tonight against Rock Hill. They may actually fly up the standings should they be able to get the win. They may well be at home in week number 1 should they get the win today. Obviously, Rock Hill, some of those early season successes, they'll jump way up. Obviously, I don't really know what happened to them last week. You would be a better knowledge to me than I would, but a complete disaster. Then the big news in this region with what happened last week with Harvest Prep losing to Westerville South by 1 point, 29-28. Harvest Prep has been officially eliminated from the postseason. It's pretty crazy to think about, but no Harvest Prep in the 2025 playoffs is crazy.
Could be no Harvest Prep and no Ironton in the same region.
Which I was talking to a good buddy of mine who covers high school football in terms of scouting, and he was like, if you had told me before the season that Prep and Ironton may both not be in the postseason, I would have looked at you and told you that you were clinically insane and you needed to go to the hospital. And honestly, I don't disagree with it too much. Let's jump down quickly to 23, where Fort Fry right now is looking pretty good at the top of this region. They're 7-1. They have nobody's actually clinched a bye in this region yet. All 4 bye spots are still up for grabs.
Wide open, baby.
It is absolutely wide open. Fort Fry controls their destiny in that as long as they take care of business tonight, they will be in good shape. They're at home taking on Point Pleasant, looking to lock up the Twin State League. And then Eastern, of course, right now they're on that outside, or they're on the inside, just peeking out, worried because Martins Ferry is right behind them. You look at these L2 numbers, they are neck and neck. 9.8 for Eastern, 9.6 for Martins Ferry, and then there is a whole boatload of teams below them. Crestview, Northmore, Elgin, Shenandoah, and Crooksville that are all still alive in some capacity. So we'll have to see.
Friday night, baby! That's it.
There's
There we
Tad.
go.
Hey, you can hear Tad on the program in just about, about a half hour from now. He'll be on the air on Pure Rock 105 WXDQ. Guess what? We got 2 streams. I know there's no video tonight. I'm sorry. We're just making up for it with double the audio. We got WATH, your Athens guys. They'll be on it. Matt Frazee, Heath Clemens, they both rolled by here a little bit earlier and said hello. And then right after that, or right alongside that, we're going to have Tad Steinberg, Daniel Barnard. They'll be up on top. I hope they brought their jackets because it is supposed to get down into the 30s tonight. Football weather, Eric.
Playoff
Football
weather, baby. It's playoff weather.
It is playoff weather, and this game's going to have that playoff feel.
It will.
Again, Eastern, going back to that, Eastern's going to need to keep an eye on that. Lastly, let's go down to the Division 7, where Region 27 and 28 are still very much in flux. The Trimble Tomcats right now are in the 11th spot. They're winning in tonight, and they should get the job done against the Federal Hawking squad that is still looking to rebuild. But they're probably more likely than not on the road in week number 1. The only interesting thing about this region is that there's a huge game in this region that's not getting played until tomorrow. Sims Valley's taking on South Gallia. That's a Saturday game. So there's a lot in this region that we won't know about until tomorrow night, which is actually the same thing that happened last year, if you remember, with Eastern was down in Region 7, Region 27, and they had a game against Southern that had a lot of playoff standing as well. Waterford has clinched a top 4 seed in this region. They've got the bye. They've got Belpre tonight. So some interesting things there. A couple other squads, Miller, River, Fairfield Christian Academy, Lucas, all in there. Fairfield Christian Academy actually controls their own destiny tonight if they could get the victory. I believe they take on another team in that mid-state league, the small school division. I think it's Grove City Christian that they play against tonight. Let's go over to region number 28, close things out in our playoff brackets. Marion Locals clinched the number 1. Guess who's clinched the number 2? The Beaver Eastern Eagles. They may not clinch the number 2 seed directly. There are St. Henry, Cincinnati Country Day may well jump them. They have clinched a first-round bye. So congrats to the Eagles. They can rest up, get healthy next week before they get into the next round. Notre Dame has clinched a playoff spot, likely clinched a home game as long as they take care of business tonight. But a great season for them. They'll be at home at Spartan Stadium in week number 1 of the postseason. So those are the 2 teams we're keeping an eye on in there. We're going to step aside here on Football Friday Kickoff, but when we come back, my Ironton Fighting Tiger fans, we're going to have as close to or as best an update as we can give you here on Total Media Sports. Jason Filaw is going to join the program live on the telephone as he gets ready to call Ironton's matchup with Portsmouth, but he's going to fill you in on what's going on with Ironton football. We'll hear from him when we come back. You're listening to Football Friday Kickoff.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
At Slark's Collision Center, we're more than a body shop. We're your neighbors, right here at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93. We're proud to serve Jackson with honest work and hometown care. Locally owned and community trusted, our team of technicians combine years of experience with the latest technology, delivering quality repairs every time. Seamless repairs and stress-free claims. Our friendly team of experts work directly with insurance companies, so you don't have to, getting you safely back on the road. Visit us at 965 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio, right at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93, and experience our commitment to excellence. The Slarks Automotive Family, here for you when you need us.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people, all to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank, working together, building success.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slark.
I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dan Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Iowa Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southernohiosoles.com to donate today.
Tire and Service at 66 East Broadway Street in Jackson, your local tire and auto repair expert.
Mom, my teacher said some kids don't get new shoes when school starts.
That's why Southern Ohio Soles is so important, honey. They make sure that underprivileged kids start the year with shoes that fit and feel good.
So, if people give money, more kids can have shoes for school?
Exactly. Every dollar helps a child walk into class with pride, ready to learn and ready to thrive.
Can I help too?
Everyone can. Visit www.southernohiosoles.com now and help a kid start school confident and strong.
This is Football Friday Kickoff on Total Media Sports, presented by Swartz Collision Center.
Welcome back to Football Friday Kickoff. I'm Ethan Sergeant. Eric Landrum is alongside me, and now we're joined by the voice of the Tigers on the telephone. Jason Filaw is with us virtually, and Jason, obviously it is a little bit of a trying time for Tigers fans. Hopefully you could take us through a little bit here and explain kind of to the best of your ability kind of what's going on down in Tiger Town.
It's been weird, all because of allegations hanging over the program, alleged recruiting violations. And so, you know, the players were told last night that there would be no playoffs. We were waiting on some word from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. I talked with Tim Street, the communications director, last night, and we were just kind of discussing it, and he couldn't really get into all the details. He did tell me that there would be a release sent out either late this morning or mid-morning. That didn't happen, so I reached out to him again and asked him if there was an update. He said, I don't have the green light to release it yet, but they're still investigating, and they should expect some kind of an announcement soon. By soon, I'm thinking tomorrow morning. That's probably when it's going to happen, when it's going to take place. Not much is known of what is going to be released from that report, but we do know that there will be no playoffs for Ironton this year. So is that, I guess, 100% virtually confirmed at this point that Ironton is out of the postseason in 2025? That appears to be the case. My sources tell me that there will be no playoffs for the Tigers in 2025. Wow. So obviously it's going to be a very emotional and impactful senior night at the Tank tonight, Jason. Obviously, a lot of these players, I'm sure, took it very difficult. And obviously we saw the scenes this morning down at the courthouse in Ironton. What can you kind of say about what these players have been put through kind of really in these last 24 hours? It's been rough, obviously, emotionally, especially the senior group that has – look, this senior class is 3 wins away from being the winningest class all time at Ironton High School. And now that's taken away from them. They don't get a chance to participate in the postseason, which is a shame. They had, nothing to do with it. These kids have busted their tails since they were in grade school playing football together. And, they won the state title last year. And everyone that I talked to before the season, every single senior said, that's not us. That was 2024's team. We've proved nothing. So they said, we want to go out and we want to win a state championship in our senior year and prove that wasn't, just that class and we're part of it. We wanted this to be our class, and our class wins back-to-back state championships, something that's never been done. So obviously after the announcement last night, they were devastated. Many tears shed. Some of the players stayed in the locker room for a good portion of the evening. They did have a senior dinner last night, and all the players were there for that. And then, trying to get ready for a game here, a lot of the players were down at the Board of Education building, like you said, today, there for some time in the freezing cold. And, just the emotions of this whole situation the last couple of days, and just the timing of this whole thing, right? I mean, it's week 10 and you're going in not knowing if you're going to be in the playoffs, not knowing if this game's going to be played. If you don't make the playoffs, you're looking at this this week and saying, well, if we're not going to make the playoffs, why even play? It's senior night. And these kids want to go out on the right foot. They want to go out as winners, and they have been nothing but respectful. They've been nothing but professional this whole time. We've seen that all season long, and they want to continue that. They've done something special. This community has rallied around them, and super proud of each one of these kids and each one of these players that have gone through this, knowing that the senior class is playing their last game here tonight.
Yeah, Jason, just a situation that is really unforeseen as well as really just something that has obviously shaken the Ironton community down to its core. The last thing I'll ask you before I let you continue your preparation, and hopefully you'll be able to bring everybody down in Ironton who can't make it to the tank. They match up on the Eagle WIRO later this evening. What I guess are the next steps as this process continues?
Well, the very next step is to play Portsmouth tonight, take care of business on the field. And, you know, these seniors will not want to come out of the game. You know that. In the last 3 weeks, it's been a running clock. And it's just been, you know, sometimes we ran 10 plays in the first half and it's, 56-0. It's like, well, okay, not really getting a whole lot of reps. And this being their last game, they want to stay in the whole game. I can assure you of that. No matter what the score is, they want to get out there and they want to bust their tail one more time for the Big I and for this community and the fans that have supported them from day one. That would be the next step. Following that, tomorrow, we just wait whatever time that announcement is released. You just wait and see the results of that. There will be more details coming from that. We'll see that. But, then from that point, you just go from there and try to figure out what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks a lot, Jason. Really appreciate you coming on and providing some transparency into what's a very complicated and very stressful situation down in Ironton. Thanks a lot, Jason.
You got it, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Jason Filaw joins us live, and we greatly appreciate him coming on and bringing in that transparency just because it is such a, number one, unforeseen situation, and number two, just a situation that I don't think any of us were expecting to see come to. And I agree with Jason, what he said about the players, right? Because, yes, there are things that are going on that at the end of the day, you are taking games away from this senior class that they've been preparing, and now all of a sudden to, what came out last night was that these players were, devastated, doesn't even put it correctly. Like, they were distraught beyond belief because, it's like they lost somebody close to them because they lost that belief, and it does really hurt to see kids suffer because of that.
Yeah, it does, man. And it just, excuse me, it's an emotional spot. When you're thinking you're going to come across and your legacy is going to be the winningest class in Ironton history, and overnight that legacy is flipped upside down, no longer becomes an opportunity. And as a player, all you do every day is show up, you put the work in, you followed the lead every step of the way, and now you almost feel like it hasn't worked out in your favor. It's gut-wrenching, man. There's just no way to put it, but I can promise you right now, those seniors got one opportunity tonight in the Portsmouth Trojans, one of the longest running rivalries in the state of Ohio, and they're going to take advantage of 48 minutes of football.
Yeah, they're going to play all. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those kids played all 48 minutes. These teams have played 136 times. 135. Tonight will be a meeting number 136. So a special rivalry. We'll have a very special installment within it tonight. Let's refocus back on this matchup, and we're going to step aside here and hear from one of the legends around here in Southeast Ohio. Rusty Richards is going to join the program. I had the chance to sit down with him earlier this week. We'll hear what he has to say about this high-octane matchup. We're continuing to gear up for this matchup between Nelsonville-York and Athens, and we'll start out our coaches' discussions with the man who will be on the visiting sideline tonight, Rusty Richards. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, no problem, Coop. No problem.
Rusty, and obviously we've talked a lot, and we've discussed a lot about how your team has gotten to this point so far. You guys are an unbeaten 9-0. You've had some ups. You've had some challenges throughout the course of the season, but what would you say the biggest strength of this team is as you look ahead to this matchup tonight?
I'd say our team unity. Our kids, bought in from day one. We got great senior leaders. No one cares who gets the credit. The last couple of weeks, we ran the ball, but we haven't ran it. We've been working on the passing game. No one's complaining. None of the running backs like, hey, coach, I'm not getting my touches. Not had any of that. And sometimes, you get those issues. And it seems like you get more of those issues with success than when you aren't having success. And we've had none. So that's been a blessing, just knowing these kids are out and they're just trying to go 1-0 every week, and they know if we do that, we're going to be right where we are and with a chance to go 10-0. And that was the goal. And I think they've all put all the individual stuff aside and, team first, which is awesome.
Talk a little bit about the development of this offense over the course of the season. Obviously, you got a quarterback who was dealing with a bit of last season, and now he's much healthier, and you're seeing that translate into on-the-field success. And then you've got 3 running backs we've talked about all year long, all of which have their own dynamic set of strengths. Talk about how this offense has evolved from really the offseason up through until now.
Yeah, it starts off with your 7-on-7s in the summer. It's not real football, but, we get to work on our passing game a lot, get the timing down between your quarterback receivers, and you see all kinds of different, coverages throughout the summer that you might not see. So that's been good. Our strength coming back, we knew our strength was going to be up front with running the football. And, so the goal has been just to keep getting better and better and better with the passing game, get closer to, maybe 60-40 instead of being 80-20 with the run, So, again, I just think it's just been a combination of everybody. Again, like I said, everybody's bought in. And I think the biggest thing, like I said, is just Cam's development and him being healthy, where he can run. So I think he, like I said the other night on the radio show, he had 45 yards rushing last year. He's at 360 this year. So, not even close, 9.8 in average. It was 1.5 last year. So you can just see the difference between a healthy Cam and a guy that was playing on one ankle last year, basically.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up last year because we'll discuss quickly what happened in that game last season. Obviously, you guys went on the last play of the game. Obviously the emotions were paramount at Boston Field. Home crowd went nuts as they should. And yes. That was able to get you guys the TVC-Ohio team responded last year. And what lessons can they learn from some of the players that were involved in that game heading into this year's matchup?
Well, just not to panic. We had the lead most of the game, and, Leo Martin made a great play, 40-some-yard catch or whatever it was, broke 3 tackles, and then next thing you know, we're behind. We punted the ball the next series, but we got to stop. We didn't panic. We got to stop, and that gave us the chance to get that last 6.5-minute drive. And, we faced adversity on that drive. We had a 3rd and 9 that we got 30-some yards. We got it called back, and then turned around the next play and still got the 3rd and 14 or whatever. So, but I think the biggest thing we probably learned from the game, other than hey, the kids played a heck of a game last year, but some of those kids have moved on both sides of the ball. Was we come out the next week and didn't have such a good week of practice. I think we a little bit too high from the win from Athens, and I think we learned not to take a week off kind of thing. And I'm not saying our kids took a week off, but mentally we sort of checked out, and got beat by a good Union local team, but still left sort of a bad taste in our mouth going into the off season. So our kids set bigger goals. Obviously they want to win the TVC, but then we want to advance in the playoffs. So I think that was the biggest thing. Hey, we can't just, after a big win, we got to come back the next week and have the same focus that we did the week before. So we sort of lost that last year, week 11.
Yeah, and obviously you guys will be much more in tune and focused, especially if you head into the postseason with that 10-0 record, chance to potentially do something that would be absolutely legendary, which is win a regional or state championship as an unbeaten team. So obviously that is on the horizon. Obviously you're focused on tonight. So let's finish this up by talking about what you're looking for in this matchup. What are the keys for Nelsonville-York to get the victory tonight? And what are you looking for on the opposing side as well from the Bulldogs? And what threats do they pose to your Buckeye squad?
They have a lot of team speed, both sides of the football, but, especially on offense, it starts with Sutton in the backfield. He can break one from anywhere on the field. He's got that track speed. He's a good running back. We got to contain him. We got to keep him inside. Can't let him get down our sidelines or it's going to be a long night for us. And then we also got the same thing with the pass defense. They got a good quarterback with Heitland. Wheatley can catch the ball. Clink, any of their receivers can catch the ball. Yeah, Wheatley's their sort of go-to guy. So we just got to contain those guys. And again, they're going to make plays, but we can't let 8-9-yard catches turn into 40-yard catches, or touchdowns. So it's on that side, it starts with just containing them. You're slowing them down a little bit. You're not going to stop them. I don't expect them to completely stop us. So, and then on offensive, we got to be physical and nasty up front. We just got to grind down, start with the run game, and let the run game set up our pass game. But we got to win up front, both sides of the ball. And like I said, but more importantly, our offense can help our defense if we keep the ball away from them. So, sort of the same kind of game plan as last year. Line up, and we're going to run it, and we're not going to hide it. And we'll take our shots on passing when we need to, but we have to win the run game on both sides of the ball. We got to slow down the run, and then we got to dominate on offensive line.
Yeah, Coach, we're expecting a phenomenal matchup tonight. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck this evening.
Yes, thank you.
When we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach on the opposite sideline. Nathan White of Athens will join us next. You're listening to Football Friday Kickoff.
Are you tired of dealing with malfunctioning garage doors? Look no further than True Track Garage Doors in Londonderry. Our team of experienced technicians specialize in garage door repairs, installation, and maintenance services. Whether you need a simple repair or a brand new garage.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slark. I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dan Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Iowa Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southerniosouls.com to donate today.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people. All to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank, working together, building success.
An appointment by calling 220-218-4169. At Rick's Tire and Auto, we have your vehicle covered.
Need a ride to your medical appointment? Medication ready for pickup? A.T. Hoy, LLC has you covered. We provide fast, safe, reliable transportation for medical recipients in Hocking, Ross, and Benton counties. And we're proud to announce we're serving Benton County veterans. We thank you for your service. A.T. Hoy is always looking to expand our crew. Apply online or drop anchor at one of these 3 locations today and grab an application. Call 740-596-0536 today to see if you qualify for free transportation. A.T. Hoy, charting a course for care.
When it comes to glass, experience matters, and Pidcock Glass in Nelsonville has over 30 years of it. From windows and doors to custom glass projects, they can handle almost any job. Pidcock Glass is Southeast Ohio's premier service company to call if you're experiencing glass loss or damage. Whether it's your home, business, or special project, trust the experts who've been serving the community for decades. Let Pidcock Glass brighten your day. Call 740-753-4527 or visit pidcockglass.com today. Proud supporters of area high school athletics.
If you want to make your smartphone even smarter, get our new mobile banking app. You can check deposits and deposit checks. It even gives you nearby ATM locations. Best part is, the money stays right here in this area. It's a better way to bank. Ohio Valley Bank, a better way to bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at ovbc.com.
Craving good eats in Nelsonville? Head over to Nick's Station, home of Footlong Friday, where the footlongs bring the flavor all day long. And now introducing Western Burger Wednesday. Get a juicy Western burger and a medium drink for just $8.99. Then cool off with Nick's delicious ice cream treats. The perfect ending to any meal. They've extended their hours, so stop by Monday through Thursday until 10, Friday and Saturday until 11, and Sunday until 9. Nick's Station, fast and friendly with hometown flavor. Nick's is a proud supporter of area high school sports.
You're listening to Football Friday Kickoff on Total Media Sports, presented by Slarks Collision Center.
We're now joined by the head coach of the unbeaten Athens Bulldogs, Nathan White. Coach, welcome to the program. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And obviously, let's start with that fact. You guys are 9-0 for the second year in a row. Take me through kind of the lessons that you guys have learned throughout this season so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of these older kids have started learning lessons from a few years ago, and we've kind of been able to put them into practice. Our kids are really focused on one day at a time, and you can't win more than one game every Friday. So you got to go to work every week and then try to go get the job done on Friday. And our kids have done a great job of that.
In terms of what your kids have been able to do so far this season, obviously not just being 9-0, but really being able to take it to a lot of your opponents. You've had the luxury of being able to sit a lot of your best players in the second half of a lot of these games. What has that shown you about your team, and how have you kept your guys sharp throughout the season as well?
Yeah, it helps that we have some really good younger players and get a good look in practice. And as coaches, we try really hard to make practice competitive and make it feel like Friday night as much as we can. It has been a different year. We've been able to play some young guys on Friday, a lot of Friday nights, which is a really good thing for them to gain some Friday night experience, because no matter what the situation is, Friday night feels different. So, it's been good for our young kids, and our older kids are really mature and they get how this works. There were a lot of Friday nights where, of course, they didn't want to come out of the game, but they understand the big picture and that we need to get to the next week and stay healthy. So it's definitely been a little bit different, but really proud of the way our kids have handled it.
Obviously, this game has so much intrigue and expectation heading into Friday night. Talk a little bit about the battle readiness of your team. I am 100% sure that your guys will be ready to go, but how do you feel like your team is prepared for probably their sternest test of the season so far?
Yeah, again, you can't get prepared in a few days, or in week 10, and it really starts the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Back in 2024, we started our off season. Every day we're in there grinding. We talk about why we're doing it. We're doing it for 10 weeks, starting in August, and our kids have had an incredible discipline and focus on every one of those days in January and February, and it all kind of builds up to now. So I feel like you throw your record out every Friday. You're not ready because of the week of practice. You're ready because of the last year of building the team as coaches, as players. So I think we've got a group of kids that are ready to play.
Thinking back to that matchup last year, obviously you guys were right there, right? It was a tough one to stomach, I'm sure, for everybody in that Athens community. And you guys did, I give you guys a ton of credit for bouncing back the next week and getting that playoff win over Lyndon McKinley. But obviously that leaves a sore taste in your mouth and in a lot of those players that played in that game. And a lot of those players returned this year. They remember that heartbreak on Boston Field. What are the emotions like this week?
Yeah, anyone who tells you that it's not a little bit different is lying to you. It's a huge game. It's a rivalry game. It feels, similar to a couple other rivalry games that we've played this year. But, everyone, Logan is a rivalry for us. Alexander's kind of a rivalry for us. And, I think Nelsonville would say the same thing. The Nelsonville-Athens game has become, our rival in the last, 15 years or whatever. So this one feels a little bit different. And, last year is still tough to think about. I'll be honest with you. Everybody has moved on, but that's one that, you don't forget, and you hope it makes you better and makes you hungrier.
So you talk about that hunger aspect. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I can imagine the hunger and the energy that's been in that locker room and throughout the program, throughout the whole season, of course. But like you said, this week feels just that little bit different. And for this senior class in particular, so many of them are standouts and have been on this team throughout the successes of the last couple of years, as well as some of the lows of the program over the years before that, and bring a lot of these seniors help bring that up. Talk a little bit about what those seniors were able to accomplish in their 4 years and just how much this game in particular means to them.
Yeah, it's something that I'm not sure they realize how hard they've worked and how much they've done. We were 2-8 their freshman season, and them along with the couple groups ahead of them, worked incredibly hard. And, you know, I always talk about it's tough to go back to work when things aren't going well on Friday night. So this is definitely one of the senior groups that have kind of turned this thing around. And I use the term turnaround. I talk to our kids all the time about you're never there. You know, we're not 2-8 anymore, but we haven't arrived anywhere. We've got to continue to work. This senior group has bought into that as much as anybody we've ever had. It's been fun to see their work pay off on Friday night.
Obviously, we're looking very much ahead to this matchup on Friday night. Let's wrap things up here by discussing a little bit of X's and O's in terms of what you're looking for in this matchup against Nelsonville-York. Obviously, they're coming in with just as much momentum as you guys are. 9-0 for them. It's the first time in over a decade that you guys have faced off against each other with perfect records. Obviously, the occasion is going to be extremely grand. It's going to be a stuffed, packed house in every capacity at Joe Burrow Stadium. But how do your kids tune out the noise, tune out the expectations, and what does it take for Athens to get the job done on Friday night?
Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be easy for both teams to tune out the noise. When the first kickoff happens, it's a football game, and I know that sounds silly, but really everything kind of disappears, and you realize you're just playing a football game. I don't think that'll be an issue for either team. You know, building up to that this week, we got to make sure we have good practices, but I think we'll be able to block out the noise. And Nelsonville's really good. They're good on offense. They're good. They're aggressive. They get to the football. They can run it. They can throw it. You know, this is the same answer I have every week for what's the key. And I really think it's whoever wins the line of scrimmage. The offensive line, defensive line are going to determine the outcome of the game. And obviously skill guys are going to have to go make plays. And without a doubt, there'll be big plays made Friday night. But the down-to-down, play-to-play up front on the line of scrimmage, I think is going to determine who wins this game.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, Coach, we've been looking forward to it all season long. Obviously, you guys have had to win a lot of games until then, and as have the Buckeyes, but here we are, 9-0 versus 9-0. It's going to be one heck of a football game. Thanks so much for joining us, Coach. Good luck on Friday night.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ethan.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slurk.
I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dan Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Iowa Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southerniowasouls.com to donate today.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people. All to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank. Working together, building success.
At Slark's Collision Center, we're more than a body shop. We're your neighbors, right here at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93. We're proud to serve Jackson with honest work and hometown care. Locally owned and community trusted, our team of technicians combine years of experience with the latest technology, delivering quality repairs every time. Seamless repairs and stress-free claims. Our friendly team of experts work directly with insurance companies, so you don't have to, getting you safely back on the road. Visit us at 965 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio, right at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93, and experience our commitment to excellence. The Slarks Automotive Family, here for you when you need us.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
we're working through on the broadcast at the moment, but we will keep bringing you everything we can here as we continue to try and fix some of the tech issues that we've got. But we'll get you your football coverage now as some of our great team behind the scenes gets us right behind the scenes. Let's talk first about this Jackson-Chillicothe matchup. Obviously, we'll get to that Athens game here in just a second. But the big thing with this matchup is, can Jackson slow down Cartelian? Because look, full disclosure, you're not stopping him. But can you slow him down enough so that your offense could do what it needs to do?
I mean, it's certainly that's certainly the task for Jackson tonight. I don't think that Andy Hall is going to let a sophomore come into Alumni Stadium who's run for 2,000 yards on the year and do what he would have to do for them to win this football game tonight. That's the key. Stop Chillicothe. Try to make them throw the football rather, and get them in difficult spots. Get them behind the sticks and make him as non-factor as possible. But he's going to get his. You just got to recover and make the plays you need to make.
Yeah, and that's the thing for Jackson is, like, look, again, he's averaging 222 yards per game. It's ridiculous. Yeah. 222 a game is stuff that, I mean, you take him against any running back, not just Ohio, maybe the country in the high school level. He's got over 2,000 yards on the season. So, yeah, he might pop one, right? He might pop two, but you have to limit that. I look at what they did last week against Julian Baker, another great back out at Miami Trace, right? They had that big run, right? First play of the game, he goes 70 yards, 80 yards for a touchdown, and you're thinking, oh boy, here comes the floodgates, right? But what did Jackson do after that? They limited him to just 70 yards after that run. So yeah, he got his. But Jackson did a good job of limiting Baker after that, and that was a big factor in why they were able to get that 41-27 victory.
Yeah, and this is, like you mentioned earlier, it's a rivalry game. These two teams play each other from the time that they're putting on oversized helmet and oversized shoulder pads at the youth level, and that's going to mean a little bit something extra to both of these teams tonight. But Jackson just scores so many points.
They do.
41 points in FAC play is their lowest number of offensive output. Chillicothe going into Alumni Stadium and scoring 7 touchdowns just seems crazy to me. We'll see if they can do it. But again, Jackson's playing very, very good football. And they've only got 5 turnovers on the season. So they're not shooting themselves in the foot either. It's a very talented Jackson offense led by Bodie Wolford, Ryan Simets.
Yeah, it is a crazy talented offense. And I think that's something a lot of people slept on, right? Jackson had their offensive troubles earlier in the year. Bodie was dealing with injury. They weren't quite, I think, at the level that they wanted with some of the guys on their line, young players that were starting to get built up. Yeah. But the best part about what Jackson's doing right now is I think they're playing their best football now. And that's exactly when you want to be playing your best is at right this moment, because when you get into playoff time and you got this last key regular season game, you feel like you're in as good a spot as you can be, and that's the sentiment that Coach Andy Hall echoed to me on the post-game sidelines afterwards. Yeah, last week.
Yeah, and he should be feeling pretty good about his team heading into this contest. It's a winnable game. It's a familiar face. They've seen Chillicothe for years and years prior to this, and quite frankly, take Cartelian out of the picture for Chillicothe. It's an offense that really, outside of him, is got to get some other things going for it. Quarterback's 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions on the year. It's a one-dimensional offense, man. You got to get more going for you tonight to unthrone the champion and get your share of the conference title.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think Chillicothe will know that, again, a lot of people are going to have their eyes on Carte, and they're going to have their eyes on what he's going to bring, but I think you need one of those secondary playmakers to step up, right? You're looking at Carter Williams. I'm looking at the quarterback, right, Jet. I'm looking at some of those other guys on that team. Who's going to step up? Who's going to make that play? Maybe somebody on that defense makes a play. Maybe they jump around, get a pick six, something like that. But Bodie Wolford's not going to let that happen too easily. He's been playing phenomenal football, just 3 turnovers since when Bodie Wolford
he's on the field,
in the lineup. I mean, this guy, he's playing at as high a level as any quarterback in this area, I think. He's playing. Last week, I thought he was the player of the game. He was phenomenal in that matchup. And look, the thing about Bodie that impresses me so much, he took that lump, right? Bad pick on the first play. I think he would have wanted that back. I think Coach Hall would have wanted that back, right? But some quarterbacks, right, would go into a shell, they'd throw 3 more picks, and they'd lose the game. Not Bodie Wolford. He's too strong. He's too smart. And he made the plays that he needed to make down the stretch, not just with his arms, with his legs, too. Key 4th down conversions with his legs, 2 of them in this game. Key 4th down conversion over the air with a passing touchdown. This guy is just playing, again, at as high a level as any quarterback in the 7-4-0.
Well, Bodie Wolford always makes the plays that you need him to make. If it's 4th and 4, good luck. You got Simets out of the backfield. You've got Woodard you can throw to. You got and Wolford who can run it, throw it. So, I mean, he just presents so many options for the offense and so many difficulties for defenses, especially with Simets, like I said, who's doing what he's doing. 18 total touchdowns through the year. He's going to approach 1,000 yards, if not already close to it tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I think the key is going to be the first couple drives. If Chillicothe can jump out to a lead like Trace did last week, can Jackson respond again? That'll be the big thing.
Right.
But Jackson's going to try and avoid that, try and jump on Chillicothe, maybe flip the script a little bit from what happened last week out at Miami Trace. So let's talk about this matchup quickly before we get into our game picks. Athens versus Nelsonville-York. The running backs are a big story in this matchup, but I want to talk about the defense first because there are two players in particular on either side of the football on defense that have eye-popping stats. We'll start out with Athens, and this is the interesting one. Both of these teams have played 9 games. Weston Wheatley, 9 interceptions on the back end for that defense. I'm telling you, I said this on the Athens County Coaches Show right this week. Watch Weston Wheatley versus Alec Thompson on the outside. That is best on best going one-on-one, and I would not be surprised if both of their guys got their wins in that matchup. Then on the opposite side for Nelsonville-York, this is a defense that racks up stops. How about 141 tackles for loss on the season? 43 of them are as a result of the guy they call Smiles, Caleb Layton. This guy, look, I asked Rusty, like, why do they call him Smiles? It's that simple. All he does is smile. He'll put you in the dirt while he does it. And Caleb Layton, he's a force on that offensive line for them. And on the defensive side, how about 96 tackles and 43 tackles for loss? Just out of this world numbers.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want from your defenses. It's probably why both of these defenses are coming in here allowing less than 9 points a game. Nelsonville-York allowing 8.4, Athens allowing 6.1. I mean, it's exactly what you want. High-powered offenses, lights-out defenses, good special teams, great one-on-one matchups, great position matchups. This game here tonight is everything you want in a 7-4 football
It's going to
game.
be absolutely amazing. The offenses, both running backs are over 1,100 yards on the season. Or Austin Gauthier only needs 5 more to get to 1,100. Anthony Sutton missed the game, still has 15 yards. He's averaging about 164 a game, and he's got 18 touchdowns to go along with it. So he's got that ability to break it anywhere. My X factor for this game is Walker Stone, running back for Nelsonville-York. He is kind of in that similar vein to Sutton, that home run hitter, right?
Yeah.
If he gets out in the open field, look out, because he has that ability to take it into the end zone from anywhere. And if they could get him 1 or 2 of those long touchdowns, look, I think Nelsonville-York today, they're going to try and control the clock, control the game, and they're going to try and make this do what they need to do. They did a very similar thing last year. But if they could get that home run ability going, it causes a whole different change of plans for Athens, because they might try and stack the box, but Cam Sullivan's shown a prowess to throw the ball. He's completing 72% of his passes this year.
Well, and Rusty Richards showed the ability to get that football out of the backfield in a hurry and somewhere where there's a whole lot of free space for somebody. Double passes, reverses, things like that.
Rusty,
he's going to get creative.
There is going to be a bag of tricks tonight. I would not be surprised. There's always a bag of tricks in Rusty Richards' back pocket. I would not be surprised if there were some backward passes, some laterals, this, that, whatever. I don't have a view into Rusty Richards' playbook. I know that there will be tricks tonight. I don't know what they look like, though. You're just going to have to watch and find out. Let's get into our game picks today, presented by Slarks Automotive Services. We'll do a couple here. We'll hopefully get our tech fully sorted. We have to shout out our tech crew for hopefully getting us back on track here, and then we will get back to we'll come back and do the rest of the picks. We'll start out in the FAC, 3 games, and we'll start out with the game we just discussed. Jackson taking on Chillicothe at Alumni Stadium. Can they keep their FAC crown?
I think they do. Again, it's hard to be Jackson one-dimensional, yet alone going into Alumni Stadium and having to surmount 41-plus points to take down the Ironman. I'll roll with them tonight.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be high scoring. I do think Carte is going to put up over 200 yards on the ground, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Jackson's offense is clicking at the right time. I think the Ironmen get it done. Hillsborough taking on McLean in the FAC. Hillsborough sliding.
I love a rivalry game. Hillsborough has been on the downslide, but I think they finish out their year strong tonight in Greenfield. Give me the Indians.
I'm actually going McLean in this one. The way the Hillsborough have kind of fallen down the last couple weeks doesn't fill me with confidence. I think McLean's going to be able to get the job done in this one. Washington Courthouse taking on Miami Trace.
Another good football game. Could be some points here for Jackson fans, Chillicothe fans there. Miami Trace going to win this football game, though. They're going to defend the pass well and get back to the running game.
Courthouse is pretty much in Region 16. However, a win in this game might get them a bye not a bye, but a home game next week in Region 16. But I think Miami Trace, they're going to be angry after what happened last week. I think they'll come out and get this win over Washington Courthouse. Westfall taking on Unioto in the SVC. Unioto looking for another unbeaten regular season.
Could be an interesting matchup in the SVC, but Unioto is just too high powered. They're atop that conference with 9-0 for a reason. Give me the Sherman Tanks.
Yeah, Unioto's won the last 12 meetings between these two schools. I think they make it 13 to match what happened in the previous 13 matchups before that Unioto win streak, which Westfall won all 13 of those. I've got the Sherman Tanks. Piketon takes on Huntington over on 100.1 WZXQ.
I don't know what the official name of this rivalry is, but tonight it's the Battle of Blaine Highway, my friends. I'll take the Huntsmen in this contest.
I like that, and I'm going with Huntington as well. It'd be their first 7-win season since the turn of the century. I think they're going to get this one done. By the way, you can listen to that Jackson Chillicothe game over on 96.7 WKOV, the home of the Ironmen, or you can listen over on C103.7 for that Chillicothe feed, and then on 97.5 WVNU is that matchup between Hillsborough and McLean. Let's finish out the SVC before we head to a break. Adina takes on Zane Trace.
I think Zane Trace is going to win this football game. Not much more to say about it. It'll probably be senior night out in Kingston. Give me the Pioneers.
Yeah, Kingston likely on the road in week number 1 next week, so probably your last home game of the season. They're going to try and finish it on the right note. I think they get the job done tonight. Finally, Southeastern taking on Paint Valley. The Panthers looking for their first win.
History says Paint Valley, but I'll actually roll with Larry Willoughby and company in this contest. Give me the Panthers.
It's been a tough year for Paint Valley. I think the Bearcats finish it on the right note. I think they find a way to get it done tonight against Southeastern. We're going to step aside here on Football Friday Kickoff. We've got the rest of our picks. When we come back, you're listening to Football Friday Kickoff.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
At Slark's Collision Center, we're more than a body shop. We're your neighbors, right here at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93. We're proud to serve Jackson with honest work and hometown care. Locally owned and community trusted, our team of technicians combine years of experience with the latest technology, delivering quality repairs every time. Seamless repairs and stress-free claims. Our friendly team of experts work directly with insurance companies, so you don't have to, getting you safely back on the road. Visit us at 965 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio, right at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93, and experience our commitment to excellence. The Slarks Automotive Family, here for you when you need us.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slark.
I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dane Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Iowa Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southerniowasouls.com to donate today.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people. All to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank. Working together, building success.
(220-218-4169). At Rick's Tire and Auto, we have your vehicle covered.
to more of Football Friday Kickoff on Total Media Sports, presented by Slarks Collision Center.
We're back, and we're making more picks here on Football Friday Kickoff. Of course, we'll save the one behind me for the end of the show, but we'll stick to the TVC. Wellston taking on Vinton County. The backyard brawl, is it not? This one? Yeah, it's a matchup that's always high intensity. Who wins between the Vikings and the Rockets?
I like what I've seen from the Vikings in recent weeks. A little bit of fight from Marcus Games and the squad out in MacArthur. I'll roll the Vikings tonight in the backyard brawl.
I'm joining you on that. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're at home. I think they're going to take care of business. They got a great trophy for this rivalry as well. Got a lot of tracks from that area. This one's over on 97.7 WYRO as well as 105.3 WYPC. The YPC will have that Wellston feed. 97.7 will be your home for the Vikings feed. Over on 103.7 WMPO, the Megs Marauders are trying to close out their season over 500, trying to close out at 6-4. They'll take on Alexander, who's trying to go 500.
What a sneaky 500-plus squad in the Marauders here, man. I think they're going to do it. I think they get their 6th win of the year, finish out what's likely to be senior night in solid fashion. I'll go with the Marauders.
Sneaky good offense that they've got. I like what Megs is breaking. I'm gonna take them as well. Eastern's got to take care of business tonight if they want to make the postseason.
Yeah,
they take on Southern.
I think they will take care of business tonight in this contest. Give me the Eastern Eagles in this one.
I'm with you on that. I think they're gonna have to wait to see if they made it, but I think they'll take care of what they need to take care of. Waterford takes on Belpre. I think they will take care of business tonight. I think we can pretty much just fly over that one as we can fly over this one. Trimble taking on Federal Hocking. I think they'll take care of business over in Stewart, and then Trimble will find out who they play in the postseason a little bit later on tonight. Beaver Eastern got the victory yesterday over Green. What do you say, 56-0, I believe. I believe it was 49-0 at the end of the first quarter in this game.
Yeah, it was.
Eric Manley did not play in the second half. I do know that much. They will have a week off, and they will be ready for the Region 28 postseason. This one's tomorrow, but it's a very important game. Sims Valley is taking on South Gallia.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good football game. I'll go with South Gallia in this game just because I like the way they match up physicality-wise. Give me the Rebels.
We saw South Gallia put up 51 points against that Beaver Eastern defense that really hadn't given up much of anything to anyone in conference play. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from South Gallia on the offensive side. I think they're going to take care of business at home as well against a good Sims Valley squad, but I think South Gallia will get it, and they'll move up, and they'll probably get a home game as a result of a win, should they get it done. Portsmouth Notre Dame taking on Sciotaville East, trying to go into the playoffs with some momentum.
Another flyover game, Sarge. I'll take the Titans, probably running clock in this contest.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame, after a couple of tight losses the last couple of weeks, think they're going to bounce back in a big way this week on the road. Big one in the SOC2. Always a classic rivalry when Portsmouth West and Wheelersburg lock horns. Wheelersburg's won 15 of the last 16 meetings. Can they make it 16-17?
A decisive bout for the conference for this one. I think Wheelersburg is on a level of its own in that conference. I'll go with the Pirates at home.
Yeah, I think the Pirates take care of business as well. Northwest taking on Oak Hill. A fantastic season for the Mohawks, by the way.
Yeah.
Got to shout them out. They probably still won't make the postseason even with 7 wins, but a huge, huge respect and shout out to what they're building down there.
Yeah, the Mohawks have done some really good things this year. I think they get their final win of the year this evening.
I'm expecting a lot of points in this matchup. We saw Oak Hill put up 35 in this matchup last year, but I think Northwest will have too much firepower. Give me the Mohawks. That one's over on 97.7 WCJO. You can hear that Portsmouth West Wheelersburg matchup over on 99.3 WNXT Sportsmouth. I think our guy Chuck Greenslate's on the call for that one. 107.5 WZZ's got Valley taking on Minford. Valley looking to go win and in the postseason.
Yeah, give me Valley in this contest. They run the football at a high level. They can make the plays they need to in the air. I'll go with the Indians.
Valley had such an impressive win last week over Grandview Heights. They're not going to let that win go to waste this week. I think they'll take care of business tonight. Cold Grove taking on Rock Hill. Cold Grove, I think, has the chance to clinch the OVC should they get this victory. And Rock Hill, with the big slip-up last week, let it fall out of their hands.
Cold Grove's already got their title as far as this one's concerned. They're unbeaten. The next closest team has 2 losses in the conference. So Cold Grove's going to get this one tonight in Rock Hill. I like the Hornets.
Yeah, if Cold Grove gets this win, they're likely home next week. I think they'll have that chance, and they'll take that chance on the road against Rock Hill. Fairland taking on Chesapeake as the Dragons try to close out their season, or could Chesapeake pull another shot?
How about Chesapeake, the shock of the week last week? I think that they fall tonight. I'll take the Fairland Dragons on the road, get things back on schedule.
Yeah, I think Fairland will try and close out their season on the right note. I think they'll win this one. Galley Academy taking on South Point. Galley Academy's won 14 of the 15 matchup these 2 teams have played.
Nice first year for Dalton Jarrell down there for the Blue Devils. I look for them to get this win on the road to wrap up their season. Give me Galley Academy.
Yeah, I'm going Galley Academy as well. Good first year start, I think,
Really
for Dalton
nice start.
Jarrell.
Really
Really
nice
start.
start.
You built a great floor. Now they're going to go build on it over the next couple of years. Point Pleasant takes on Fort Fry as I believe the Cadets have at least a share already clinched of this conference. They would win it outright with a win.
Yeah, Fort Fry by whatever they want to in this one. I got 49 on my spread for the Cadets.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Point Pleasant. I think Fort Fry gets it done this evening. WBYG for that Galley Academy game, and then THQ for that Fort Fry Point Pleasant matchup. The final matchup in the TSL was Warren taking on Marietta.
A fun contest here. 2-2-7 squads, rivalry game to end the year. I'll take Marietta, senior night, rivalry at home. Give me the Tigers.
I'm going Warren just based off a little bit of recent history. Last year they won this game by 19. I think the Warriors will be able to get it done this evening. Circleville takes on Bloom Carroll. 6-3 versus 7-2. Circleville can sneak in there and clinch a share of the MSL title if Bloom Carroll were to fall today.
It would be a huge win for Circleville to go in and do that, but I'll take the Bulldogs, probably 14-21 in the end.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs will get it done as well. Amanda Clear Creek takes on Liberty Union. Amanda Clear Creek's got to win this game if they want to make the postseason. They will need help even if they get it done. Yeah. But I think they will. How about you?
I think they will as well. I'll roll with the Aces in this one.
Hamilton Township's already in. They're probably at home as well, win or lose. They did have a major injury last week. Jovan McBride is likely out for the season, which is a tough loss for that offense. But I think Hamilton Township's going to try and bounce back after that loss last week against Logan Elm.
It's a really tough loss for Hamilton Township. They will bounce back tonight, though, against the Braves and hopefully get some things figured out before week 11.
Yeah, I think they will as well. A very interesting matchup over on 107.1 WIRO and 95.7 WNXT. 2 feeds for this one as well. Portsmouth at the Tank versus Ironton. It's going to be a very emotional atmosphere down at the Tank. Very surreal atmosphere, I think, for this matchup. And I just don't see a world where Ironton let these seniors go without winning their final game.
It sure doesn't seem like it. I'd be interested in knowing how they're constructed this evening, but it seems like all things are a go one final time for this Fighting Tigers squad. I'll take the Fighting Tigers at home.
Yeah, I'm going with Ironton as well. River Valley takes on Fayetteville. Athens would love to see the Raiders pull off a shock here. Fayetteville's 1-7, however.
Yeah, I think that they do pull off the shock as well. I'll take the Raiders on the road over the Rockets in this one.
Yeah, again, you've seen some very small positive signs for River Valley this year. Again, they've had a couple of really tough years, but this year would be the most wins they've had in a season for a couple of years with the two. Waverly looking to try and finish their season on a high note as well. A struggle of a season out in Tiger Town. They're taking on Worthington Christian on the road tonight.
Quite the haul to Worthington Christian from Tiger Town. I'm going to go with Worthington Christian to get it done over the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. That one's over on 95.9 WXIC. The General will have you covered for one last game of Waverly football. Finally, I had to pick this one, the Perry County Super Bowl between Sheridan and New Lexington. It's an important game for both of these schools, important game for Sheridan's playoff situation. I've got New Lex because let me tell you, we're going to be talking about New Lex a lot over the next couple weeks because they're real good. They're let me see you in Canton good.
Yeah.
And they've got a good Sheridan squad at home tonight.
Yeah, they do have a good Sheridan squad. That's a great opportunity, but New Lex is on a different level right now, man. The Panthers are playing great football. Give me the Panthers.
It's complimentary, and that's why they work so well. I think New Lexington gets it done. That'll do it for our game picks. Just kidding. You know we got one more. Athens and Nelsonville-York. We're going to break it down a little bit and make our pick next. You're listening to Football Friday Kickoff.
Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in Willis Advantage Property Solutions delivers dependable, full-service property maintenance you can trust. We specialize in asphalt repair, infrared patching, surface cleaning, parking lot striping, and powerful hydrojet drain cleaning, serving industrial, commercial, and residential customers across the region. From small fixes to large-scale projects, we get the job done right, on time, and on budget. Call now for your free consultation at 740-577-4574. Willis Advantage Property Solutions. We protect and maintain what matters.
At Slark's Collision Center, we're more than a body shop. We're your neighbors, right here at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93. We're proud to serve Jackson with honest work and hometown care. Locally owned and community trusted, our team of technicians combine years of experience with the latest technology, delivering quality repairs every time. Seamless repairs and stress-free claims. Our friendly team of experts work directly with insurance companies, so you don't have to, getting you safely back on the road. Visit us at 965 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio, right at the intersection of US 32 and State Route 93, and experience our commitment to excellence. The Slarks Automotive Family, here for you when you need us.
It takes determination to create a successful business. It's never easy, but always worth it. It takes making a leap of faith. It takes patience and late nights to reinvest in a startup. But it also takes asking for guidance from dependable people. All to turn a dream into a reality. People's Bank. Working together, building success.
Hi, my name is Isaac Slurk.
I'm Max Gentry.
And I'm Dan Neff.
Together, we founded Southern Iowa Souls, a nonprofit helping students in need.
We work in 28 school buildings to identify students in need of a new pair of shoes, then deliver shoes to those students to help them learn, play, and grow confidently.
Since our beginning in 2023, we've been able to donate nearly 400 pairs of brand name sneakers. Without support from our community, this simply wouldn't be possible.
Scan the QR code or visit www.southerniowasouls.com to donate today.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent is McFadden Insurance. Get a quote today at mcfadden-insurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to more of Football Friday Kickoff on Total Media Sports, presented by Slark's Collision Center.
Yeah.
We got a couple more minutes here on Football Friday Kickoff, and let me tell you, the atmosphere in this stadium is palpable. I mean, there are people going left, right, and center. We've got Gridiron Glory is going to be here doing a live show at 11:30. They're going to be cold, I'll tell you that much. But that's going to be awesome. I mean, I've seen more media people here than I think, with the exception of the Ironton game, any game I've been to this season. It's an electric atmosphere.
Yeah.
Give me a key tonight for both teams. How do they get it done?
Well, I mean, for Nelsonville-York, exactly what Rusty Richards said. You want to do those things. Control the football, play physical football, which is exactly the Nelsonville-York style that they want to come out here with. And when he calls up that big play, you got to connect, Sarge. You got to come up. When Rusty Richards dials it up and you're wide open and you got that guy, you got to connect.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case. What about Athens? What do they need to do?
I think they got to get the lead early. This isn't an Athens squad that's as tested as they would like to be. So they need 14-point lead, something like that. Make Nelsonville-York play from behind and prove to yourself that you can play with a well-tested opponent. No sacks, no penalties, no turnovers. Those are drive killers. You got to put the football in the end zone when you got the chance.
Yeah, and so on that note, what do these, well, we already just went over that. What am I talking about? Give me a prediction for tonight, and let me tell you, there's some people around here. Well, what are we thinking?
Sarge, you got my back here. If I
got your back.
If it comes down to it, I think everyone's willing to fight in Athens tonight. Here's what it comes down to, man. This Week 10 matchup is a buildup of things over the course of the season. Athens opponents on the year, 16-65. Not tested enough for me. I'll roll with the Buckeyes.
I'm going with Nelsonville-York as well. I'm going to say it kind of quietly, though. I think the Buckeyes get it done, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's 6 points or less. It may well be decided on the final play, just like it was last season. But that'll do it for this edition of Football Friday Kickoff. Be sure to catch Eric on Football Friday night tonight to get all the playoff updates on what's coming next week and maybe where we're headed for next week's edition of the show. Enjoy the game.
This has been Football Friday Night from the Total Media Sports Network, presented by Slark's Collision Center. Tonight's show has been welcomed by
Holzer Health System, Howard Hanna, McMillan Network, A.T. Hoyd Transport, Higgins Steel Roofing, Rocky Outdoor Gear Store, Nick Station, Steak and Shake, True Track Garage Doors, McFadden Insurance, Ohio Valley Bank, Hocking College, Area Agency on Aging District 7, Willis Advantage Property Solutions, Hidcock Glass, and Southern Ohio